Hey YouTube, what is going on? It's Chris and Carly back again, and we are coming back with a quick, update video, right? So we've got an update here on Miss Bubbles.
Yep.
We're literally 2 days after the last video that we shot, and if you watched that video, we talked a little bit about some of the things we were learning as Cutie, and now what we were seeing with Bubbles during their shed cycles. And so, Carly, do you remember what a couple of those things were that we were seeing with Bubbles?
Her behavior.
Her behavior, yeah.
And just her behavior. It wasn't. There was a lot of things that were different about her. She just seemed different.
She seemed a little off, didn't she? And one of the things was she was hanging out in her hide quite a bit.
Yeah.
Even at night when they would typically come out and be hunting and be looking around.
Mm-hmm.
Cutie would be out, but Bubbles wouldn't be. And when we handled her, and if you remember in the last video, boy, she was really, really skittish, really shy, wouldn't let us anywhere near her head. And you can see she's just kind of checking things out and is really in a really good handling mode, which she typically is. She typically just kind of hangs out and doesn't really mind being handled at all. And as we mentioned, ball pythons just as a species are pretty head shy, but for the most part she's not. And we actually got a full shed, so we'll show it here. It's not a perfect shed. You can see here kind of ripped a little bit as she was going through. One of the things that we didn't actually get with Cutie, or at least we couldn't find, let's see if you can see that. That is actually her little head. It's not really focusing all that well, but you can kind of see there.
Those are her eye caps.
Those are her eye caps, and the whole thing came off in one piece. And so, that does actually show us that we've got a couple things going on really well with the husbandry that we have for them. Now that we've had both of them shed, and both of them have full sheds, we haven't had any issues with shedding so far. That means our humidity is where it needs to be. We've actually, typically we have pretty high humidity where we live, and we've had a problem kind of keeping it down a little bit. Here over the past few weeks, though, it's gotten a little bit drier as it's cooled off here in southeast Texas. And so just every now and again, as we're kind of checking the tubs, we'll spritz it down a little bit, and kind of thinking she was about to go into shed, spritz it down maybe once or twice a week. It wasn't anything really all that big, but that means we've definitely got the humidity where it needs to be. The fact that they're eating and very active means we've got the temperature where it needs to be, and those were two very big things in ball python husbandry that you've got to make sure that you've got correct. And so one of the things we'll definitely show you, because they are never as bright as they are until right after they shed. And this little girl, she is, look at that. Oops, can you say hi? She is just really bright. Those yellows and almost oranges on her side, kind of coming up the side there, are just really bright right now. And you can see just the difference in the behavior. And it's kind of like I said the other day, you've got to spend time with your snakes to really kind of understand their behavior, to know when something's different. And if there's no better message, it's that. Where we just noticed that, as we were handling, you notice she's not jerking back and forth like she was the other day. She's not, trying to get away, looking for a place to hide. She's just, overall, she's just kind of hanging out, right? And doing what she normally does. So, again, just wanted to do a quick update video, let everybody know kind of what we saw with her and these things that we were anticipating seeing. These behavior changes, these different things were indeed around the time that she was going to shed. So should really be indicative now that we kind of know what to look for. And it's not just the going into blue, it's not just the eyes clouding over, it's not just the dulling of the colors, but there's definitely some behavior things that you can look for. And when your snake starts exhibiting those, pretty good indication they're probably about to go into shed. And so just really quickly again, it's hanging out in the hide. It's very, very head conscious, even though they typically are, but almost to a different level. They have a little bit of a different texture to them. They feel almost, if you've ever felt a dry snake skin, they feel almost rough, like this. You know, I definitely could tell in her belly scales especially that there was just a different feeling there. And then Carly actually has a fun fact today that we saw as soon as we had put her up the other day. Whenever we filmed it, we actually saw this. So Carly, what's your fun fact for today?
So we have been doing a lot of shedding videos. That's because, you know, we thought that she would be going into shed. But one of the things that we didn't mention when we were doing those videos is that they will normally be in their water bowls, and that's because the water will help the old skin just like kind of wash right off.
Yep, that's right.
So they'll soak in there.
And we actually saw that with both Cutie and with Bubbles. Like I said, right after we kind of put right after we put her enclosure up last time, she was at the front of her enclosure. She wasn't totally in, but she kind of just had the middle part of her body kind of soaking. When Cutie had gone through shed, she kind of had the back end of her body soaking a little bit. And so definitely one of those things that they will do as they're going to the shed. You might see them in their water bowls or around their water bowls a little bit more as they get ready to go through that process. So again, thanks guys. We appreciate you coming along this journey with us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.